My wife gave me an ultimatum, a threesome or she walks. Here's how I survived the hardest decision of my life.
My name is Ethan. I'm 31 years old, and I live in the bustling city of San Francisco. I've been married to my wife, who I'll call Mia, for 8 years now. She's just a year older than me, and our journey together has been filled with love, trust, and mutual respect. We've built a life that we're both proud of, facing our fair share of challenges and sharing moments of joy. When I first met Mia, I knew she was the one. There was a pull between us, a connection that felt as though fate had brought us together. A few years into our relationship, surrounded by friends and family, we tied the knot with a sense of excitement and anticipation. Our marriage became a journey of support, growth, and discovery as we embraced the highs and braved the lows side by side. But recently, our relationship took an unexpected turn when Mia made a suggestion that took me completely off guard. She wanted us to try something new, something outside the boundaries of what I'd ever imagined. She wanted to invite another woman into our bedroom. One evening, as we sat down for dinner, Mia casually brought it up. She suggested that we shake things up in our intimate life by introducing someone else. At first, I thought it was a joke, but the earnest look in her eyes told me otherwise. The idea hit me like a jolt. I was left trying to process what she was asking. Maya went on to explain that she had always been somewhat curious about women and wanted to explore that part of herself, but only in a safe, controlled environment within our marriage. She assured me it was nothing to do with finding something I lacked or wanting anyone else. It was simply about experiencing something new together. Her excitement was unmistakable, and I felt a strange mix of intrigue and anxiety. Part of me was gripped with jealousy and a sense of betrayal at the thought of sharing her, but another part of me was genuinely curious. We sat across from each other, and I struggled to find words for the storm of emotions inside me. Her proposal was as thrilling as it was terrifying. How could I bear the idea of another person touching her, seeing her in the way that was supposed to be reserved for me alone? It felt like our marriage was suddenly on shaky ground, and for the first time, I didn't know if we'd make it through. Maya listened to my concerns, patient and understanding, and tried to reassure me. She insisted that what she wanted was to bring us closer, not to drift apart. Yet deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that this could change everything. Was this really a safe exploration of something new, or was it a warning sign of something lacking between us? In a moment of frustration, I told her I couldn't even imagine going through with it. I felt myself lash out, words sharper than I intended. The thought of her with someone else stirred a possessive, almost primal anger in me. And that was when she said something that would haunt me. She'd give me 2 weeks to decide. Either I'd say yes, or we'd risk losing everything we'd built. Now, I was left with an impossible choice. Part of me wanted to try to see where this path would take us, if only to hold on to her. But another part feared that if I crossed this line, I'd lose a part of myself in the process. Could I live with myself if I sacrificed my own beliefs just to keep her? Or would I regret it forever, feeling I'd compromised who I am? The last few weeks have only widened the rift between us. There's an unspoken tension whenever we're together, a wall between us that never used to be there. I've even started to feel uneasy at her touch, like something between us has shifted irreversibly. Yet, at the same time, there's this hidden urge that I can't seem to bury, a curiosity that keeps drawing me back to her suggestion. In bed, as I lay beside her, my mind races with all the what-ifs. Is her proposal just an attempt to revive the passion in our marriage, or does she genuinely want to explore this side of herself? Her words, her expressions, they all replay in my mind, igniting emotions I can't quite place. I'm haunted by questions of love, jealousy, and desire, and I know that the choice I make will shape our future in ways I can't predict. As the days passed, the weight of Mia's proposal settled heavier on me. The ultimatum lingered like a ticking clock in the back of my mind. I had 2 weeks to decide if I could open up to this idea or risk everything we had together. The more I thought about it, the more the walls closed in. I felt trapped, torn between my love for Mia and my own principles, wondering if there was a way to bridge this gap. Every evening, Mia and I danced around the topic, carefully avoiding it. But the tension only grew, and the emotional distance between us felt unbearable. Conversations that used to flow easily now felt stilted, laced with unsaid words and loaded glances. I found myself imagining what it would be like if I gave in to her request. Would it rekindle the intimacy between us? Or would it lead to a fracture that no amount of love could repair? One night, unable to stand the silence any longer, I asked Mia out on a date, just the two of us, away from the cloud that had been hanging over us. She looked surprised, and I saw a flicker of hope in her eyes. As we sat in a small, dimly lit restaurant, I reached across the table, holding her hand like I hadn't in weeks. We spent hours talking about memories, about dreams, and finally, about her proposal. It was the most honest conversation we'd had in a long time. She admitted she'd been feeling lost, unfulfilled in a way that she couldn't quite explain. She was searching for something to bring her excitement and passion back to her life, and for her, this idea seemed like a way to explore that without jeopardizing our relationship. She confessed that, deep down, she feared losing me as much as I feared losing her. Her words stung but also softened something in me. The conversation sparked something unexpected in me, a desire to rekindle the intimacy between us, not by involving someone else, but by rediscovering each other. I suggested we take a weekend away, no distractions, just us. I wanted to show her that we didn't need a third person to feel that spark. We could find it within ourselves if we were willing to try. To my relief, Mia agreed. That weekend became a turning point. Away from the noise and pressures of our daily lives, we allowed ourselves to be vulnerable, sharing our fears and desires. We revisited memories, laughed, and let go of the resentments we'd been holding on to. It was as if we peeled back the layers that had been hiding our true selves from each other. By the end of the weekend, I could feel that something between us had shifted. The tension melted away, replaced by a renewed sense of closeness and understanding. Mia admitted that while her curiosity hadn't entirely vanished, she realized that what she truly wanted was to feel connected and desired by me, not someone else. And I realized that my fear of losing her was rooted in a love so deep that it pushed me to look beyond my initial judgments. We returned home, not with all our problems solved, but with a commitment to rebuild what we'd almost lost. Slowly, we found new ways to keep the excitement alive in our marriage, exploring intimacy on a deeper level, understanding that true passion often grows when we face our insecurities together. In the end, Mia's proposal had forced us to confront parts of ourselves we'd been ignoring. Instead of tearing us apart, it had brought us closer, stronger, and more in tune with each other's needs. We discovered that love isn't about eliminating every temptation, but about choosing each other, day after day, even when it's hard. The following years weren't perfect, but they were filled with a newfound honesty and a deeper connection. And as we continued our journey together, I knew that whatever life threw our way, we'd face it hand in hand.